So let's solve a few problems of IIT JAM 2020 physics. So there is a question number 22, which says that in which of the following limits the Fermi-Dirac distribution and Bose-Einstein distribution reduced to Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution. Here epsilon is the energy of the state, mu is the chemical potential, Kb is the Boltzmann constant. So we are given 4 options. Now we know that Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution function is given by 1 by e to the power alpha plus beta epsilon, where beta is 1 by kBt and alpha is equal to minus beta mu, therefore alpha is equal to minus mu by kBt. So putting those values, we can write Fmb is equal to e to the power minus epsilon minus mu by kBt. Now we are given Fermi-Dirac distribution, which is 1 by e to the power alpha plus beta epsilon plus 1, and Bose-Einstein distribution, which is 1 by e to the power alpha plus beta epsilon minus 1. So that means that we have to get rid of plus and minus 1 from Fermi-Dirac and Bose-Einstein distribution, as there is no plus or minus 1 in the Fmb. So this is only possible if alpha plus beta epsilon I greater than, very greater than 1. That means epsilon minus mu by k beta t is greater than 1, or epsilon minus mu must be very greater than kBt. So there are 4 options, and C, epsilon minus mu very greater than kBt, therefore option C is correct. Here I have shown the 3 distribution functions for Maxwell's, Boltzmann, Fermi-Dirac and Bose-Einstein, and we can see that as energy increases, x-axis is my energy and y-axis is my distribution function. As energy increases, both Bose-Einstein and Fermi-Dirac merged into the Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution. B is the higher than the Fd because bosons do not follow Pauli's exclusion principle. So in this problem, option C is correct. Let's move to another problem. Consider n classical particles at temperature T, each of which can have 2 possible energies 0 and epsilon. The number of particles in the lower energy level n0 and higher energy level ne are related by these 4 options are given. And here we need to find out number of particles in the 0 and number of particles in the energy level E, and then take the ratio. So again, since we are given n classical particles at temperature T, therefore we will be using Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution, as classical particles follow MB distribution. So our MB distribution is Ni by Gi is equal to 1 by e to the power alpha plus beta epsilon I, where Ni is the number of particles in the ith energy level, Gi is the degeneracy of the ith energy level, epsilon I is the energy of the ith energy level, and beta is equal to 1 by kBt, kB is the Boltzmann constant, and alpha is equal to minus mu by kBt, where mu is the chemical potential. Now, since no degeneracy is given in this problem, therefore we will consider that degeneracy of each level is 1. That means each energy level itself is a non-degenerate state, or we can say the degeneracy is 1. Therefore, from 1 we can write Ni is equal to Gi by e to the power alpha plus beta I. Gi is 1, therefore we can write simply e to the power minus alpha plus beta epsilon I. So now, using the first condition that n0 particles are in the energy level 0, therefore from 2 we can write Ny is n0 and epsilon I is 0, therefore we will have only e to the power minus alpha. This is number 3. And for similarly, for energy level epsilon, we can write Ne, because Ni is now the number of particles in energy level Ne, number of particles in energy level E, which is Ne, that is equal to e to the power minus alpha plus beta epsilon, because energy of that energy level is given by epsilon. So taking the ratio of 3 and 4, because we need to find out N0 by Ne, we can find that the n naught by ne is equal to e to the power minus alpha by e to the power minus alpha plus beta epsilon, which is e to the power beta epsilon e. That means n naught by ne is equal to e to the power epsilon by kBt, because beta is equal to 1 by kBt. So we are given 4 options, and among them option B is the correct answer. So option B is correct. Now move to next problem. This is from expectation value of an operator. So a linear operator O cap acts on 2 orthonormal states of a system psi 1 and psi 2 as per following. So when operator O acts on psi 1, I get psi 2, and when it acts on psi 2, I get 1 by root 2 psi 1 plus psi 2. The system is in a superposed state defined by, now my new system is defined by psi is equal to 1 by root 2 psi 1 plus I by root 2 psi 2. The expectation value of that operator O cap in the state psi is, so 4 options are given, so we need to find out which one of them is correct. Now we know that expectation value of an operator here O cap in the state psi is given by using Dirac-Bragg notation. So psi O cap psi, and then we will operate O on psi. So I am writing psi O operator on psi. So I put the value of psi, which is 1 by root 2 psi 1 plus I by root 2 psi 2. So keeping psi on this side, left side unchanged, we will put the value of psi later. So operator O cap on psi 1, operator O cap on psi 2. When operator O acts on psi 1, I get psi 2, and when it acts on psi 2, I get 1 by root 2 psi 1 plus psi 2. 1 by root 2 plus I by root 2 is by psi. When operator O acts on psi 2, I get 1 by root 2 psi 1 plus psi 2. Now 1 by root 2 I have taken out from here. I put the value of psi, which is 1 by root 2 psi 1 plus I psi 2 by root 2. Now this one psi 2 plus I by root 2 psi 1 plus psi 2. Since they are orthonormal states, we are already given. So now we will start taking the dot product. So psi 1 with psi 2, psi 1 with psi 1, and again psi 1 with psi 2. So first see. And then psi 2 on psi 2 plus this quantity. So psi 2, psi 2, psi 2, psi 1 and psi 2, psi 2. Again this 3 points. Now since they are orthonormal, this one will be 0, this one will be 0, this one will be 0. And we got this one. So doing the simple mathematics, we can see that our final result is one by 2 root 2 times 1 minus I times root 2 minus 1. We are given these 4 options, and out of all those 4 options, our solution matches with the option D. Therefore option D is the correct answer. Next problem, which says that for electric and magnetic fields E and B, due to a charge density rho and a current density J, which of the following relations is are always correct? That means it could have multiple answers. So what are the four options we are given? One is curl E is equal to 0. Option B is delta dot B is equal to 0. Option C, del dot J minus del rho by del T is equal to 0. And fourth option is F equal to Q times E plus V cross B, where F is the force on a particle with charge Q moving with velocity V. Now, option 1, curl E is equal to 0. This is basically Gauss law of electrostatic in differential form, and this one is valid only if there is electric field. However, we know that curl is equal to minus del B by del T, which is the differential form of Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. That means, in one case when only we have electric field, I have curl E is equal to 0. E is the electric field which is conservative, therefore curl is equal to 0. That is basically the Gauss law of electrostatic in differential form. But when you have both electric and magnetic field, we have Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. That means curl is equal to minus del B by del T. That means this one does not always true. So therefore option A is not always true. Option B, del dot B is equal to 0. What it says? Divergence of magnetic field is 0, which tells us that magnetic monopole does not exist. This is always true, that magnetic monopole does not exist. So option B is always true. Next option, option C, del dot J is equal minus del rho by del T is equal to 0. This looks like continuity equation, but in continuity equation we know this is plus del dot J plus del rho by del T is equal to 0. Moreover, we also know that if there is no accumulation of charge, therefore del rho by del T is 0, therefore we know that del dot J is equal to 0. So this option C is not always true. Now come to the last option, which is F is equal to Q times E plus V cross B. So this is basically the Lorentz force law. When we have both electric and magnetic fields, and a charged particle Q is moving with the velocity V. When there is no magnetic field, we have only electric field. When we have only magnetic field, that means there is no electric field, we have F equal to Q times V cross B. And when we have always electric and magnetic field, as the question says, we have this Lorentz force law. So therefore, option D is always true. Whenever we have electric and magnetic fields present and a charged particle Q is moving with velocity V, the Lorentz force is acting on that particle. So therefore, out of four options, options B and D are always true. Next, there is a problem from relativity. Very easy problem. It says that two relativistic particles with opposite velocities collide head-on and come to rest by sticking with each other. Which of the following quantities are conserved in the collision? That means we could have multiple options correct. So what are the options? Total momentum, total energy, total kinetic energy, and total response. Always remember, in every closed system, the total relativistic energy and momentum are conserved. That's why whatever problem we solve in relativity, we check the total relative energy and the momentum. So we use those two relations and derive whatever the problems we are given, we solve it and get the answer. So options A and B are correct.